You want to start your YouTube channel? Girl, don't worry, I've got you sorted. This video is going to be absolutely crazy, jam-packed with information, so grab a snack. All of my notes on my iPad, I'm gonna have all of the timestamps on screen. So we're starting this section off with actually starting your channel. This is pretty much what content are you gonna make, or what kind of name are you even calling your YouTube channel? Have you researched kind of like what niche you want to go into or anything like that? So as an example, obviously my name is Santana, I vlog my life, I make fashion videos, lifestyle content, vlog, anything within the lifestyle realm. That's kind of where I see myself. I'd say in terms of like peers who like inspire me the most, like Alicia Marie is definitely one of my biggest YouTube inspirations. Generally, like her content is just always phenomenal, 10 out of 10. I'd also probably say McKenna Marie. McKenna, you know, she's my girlie. She doesn't know that yet, but like we're girlies in my head. He's still a smaller creator, but he's someone that really inspires me, and his name is Lucas. Big fan of his videos. Those are the people that definitely inspire me to like be more consistent, be more cohesive. Emily Palucci as well. Yeah, those are my girlies, and those are probably people that inspire me the most on the daily basis to help create kind of the content that keeps you guys engaged every single week. Biggest tip is going to be researching what niche you want to go into. So for example, I don't know anything about like cooking. Yes, I have baking videos on my channel, and yes, they are questionable. Baking isn't my niche, so that would be something that I'd research in, especially now with like YouTube Studio and TikTok creator, like insights and things. There are so many ways for you as a creator to find what is trending and what's viral at the moment. So the weekend I'm filming this is Coachella. First of all, Slay, I've not gone. Secondly, Manifest and I go next year. I would definitely do kind of like Coachella outfit looks, makeup inspiration, what I wouldn't wear to Coachella. A lot of people have been doing that this year. And also probably the biggest thing as well is, are you gonna have an aesthetic or a cohesive look? One thing I will say is something to keep in mind when starting your channel is branding. And I know it's like, why do I need to think about branding? I've not even uploaded a video yet. When you look at all of the creators that I've mentioned, everything, including myself, everything is kind of the same and cohesive and makes sense. You don't necessarily have to do the same thing. Like definitely take inspiration from other creators and things, but don't directly copy, because then that defeats the purpose. So the next one for me is how to plan. How to plan your video. Where do I start? What kind of ideas are we looking at? So I kind of think of your videos as like a conflict resolution. So your start, your peak, and the end. You want to keep people to the peak for as long as possible. So for example, I vlog my life every single day. I don't think my life is interesting. However, I like the idea of filming vlogs and for the memories and things. So I tend to edit my videos kind of like a montage type of thing. Like these are all the clips made from my camera or my phone, and just incorporate it in kind of like a montage way. For example, let's say you're wanting to do vlogs and it's a day in my life, and let's say you're studying. So what you'd do, show your morning, show how you're gonna get productive and like prepped within that mindset of studying, and go through all of the study tips as well. Just kind of like what works for you, and then show that studying. So then it's gonna end on a trickle out of you in the evening of wrapping up and things like that. I promise, it's kind of like a conflict resolution. It promise you it makes sense. For example, with sit down content like videos like this, or even like different videos I've done in the past, what points are you gonna make? Because you don't want to constantly be like, and I've also recommend like reaching this, and I don't really know, you guys, yeah, anyway. Like, no one wants to sit through that, and no one wants to watch that. Yeah, it's funny and a blooper reel kind of at the end. I'll talk about that later. There are hundreds and thousands, if not millions of videos of day in my life. What is gonna set your video apart? For me personally, what sets me apart, my personality. I set myself apart from everyone else. But also keep the comment engaging, because I'm sorry, no one wants to watch a boring video. My biggest piece of advice, if you can't sit through your own video, no one else is gonna watch it. I'll talk about it later when we get into editing, it'll make sense. Your filming setup's gonna be different when you're walking around making a vlog or when you're sitting down. Now, for example, you may not have noticed, but in this video, I have switched 3 different times to kind of keep this video new, fun, and fresh. Switching your camera angles for a sit-down video, I promise you now, is going to keep people engaged. It's like my biggest thing. You know, I wish I'd started it sooner, especially from my videos back in the day, but I promise you now it helped. One thing what I like to do in my filming setup is edit as I'm filming. So for example, if I'm getting loads of behind the scenes and loads of B-roll, there'll be certain songs that I'm thinking in my head as I'm getting the clip and how long I want to think them. It takes a while to get like that way, but I promise you, if you kind of edit in your head at the same time when you're editing, which I'll go into in a second, that'll make sense. If you're gonna make sit down content as well, have a note, have a plan, because you just don't want to wing it, because you're gonna end up with too much footage. My biggest piece of advice in terms of filming would be film everything, over film with that B-roll, but make sure you've got that A-roll, which is like this portion. B-roll is like little things around the screen, as I'm doing now for you. So at least then when you're editing, you can remove everything. You'd rather shoot too much, then 9. Oof, I'm sweating. I'm giving ideas today. Next up is editing. The camera that I'm shooting on right now is my Canon G7X Mark II. My regular camera that I shoot on is my Canon M50. I also use my phone. For a phone, I have the iPhone 15 Plus. I have my wonderful iPad mini. I use this a lot for my thumbnails and things. Again, we're getting there, I promise. I also use, in terms of editing software, I use Final Cut Pro. That's what works for me personally and what I deem the most helpful. Because I do a lot of heavy editing and a lot of B-rolls, it makes sense. My biggest recommendation to start out, I would use iMovie, or do you know what, girlies? I'd even use CapCut. CapCut has come such a long way from when it first came out. I promise you now, you don't need to spend £300 on an editing software. If you like Final Cut Pro and you're an editor, definitely look at Adobe or DaVinci Resolve. Those two are a little bit too hard for me. I personally don't feel and or see a need for it in my personal life at the moment. The tripod I'm using right now is from Amazon. My USB-C cable adapter is also from Amazon. My microphone for voiceovers is also from Amazon. And to edit, obviously, I edit on my amazing MacBook Pro. Again, I will have everything linked, or at least try to link everything down below in terms of equipment and what I use. In terms of different softwares as well, I use TubeBuddy, Video IQ. What these two do is help you find keywords and rank insert. I can do a whole separate video on that. And I subscribe to Epidemic Sound. I pay, I think it's $15.98 a month. It's for the music that is in the background of this video. I don't want to get a copyright claim either. No, I need this channel. In terms of editing, I'm going to run you through my personal step-by-step process and what works for me. Obviously, when you edit, you're going to find your own way and your own rhythm. But if you're kind of wondering where to start or kind of want some inspiration, I'm here to help you out. First, you want to import all of your footage, upload it. Again, I do this in Final Cut Pro because that's what works for me. I kind of call this like the rough cut phase of your video. Round 2, which is the cleanup of the rough cut essentially, and like fine tweak everything and start to be really creative, add in the fun effects. And then round 3 is the fancy text, the music, the sound effects. I like to find certain songs that I'll use throughout the year that'll work with the majority of my videos, again because I'm a lifestyle creator. This is round 4. It's kind of like a 3.5, but I'll say round 4. I'll find like certain beats in the music where there's like certain things are showing and it'll work with the music. And then round 5 is the sound effects. Now, besties, if you are like scared or talking quietly, sound effects and like memes in your videos are going to be your literal best friend because it keeps the user, as in me, a watcher, a consumer, engaged. For example, there is a YouTube channel called Paul 4.0, like P-A-U-L 4.0. Also, Epidemic Sound have loads, YouTube have loads. You can literally screen record loads on TikTok, even certain TikTok sounds as well. Like, use those in your videos, like just make sure they're copyright free. And then round 6, the finale, the creme de la creme of the video is going to be watching it. Now, like I said earlier, the biggest thing is that I recommend, and the bigger piece of advice I'd say, if you can't sit through your own video, no one else is gonna watch it. Honestly, like I have a short attention span because of TikTok. We all have a short attention span. Engaged. Can I talk today? Use a jump cut. That jump cut here now shows me with a Stanley. It's different. Different zoom ins, different sound effects, different like, I don't know, transitions and things that use everything in this time when you're watching it back and you personally get bored. On your YouTube studio, or if you're going to upload it on TikTok, I know TikTok has the same thing, there's like an audience retention, and YouTube's probably the best for showing it in terms of a graph of where your video is and like the fall off of your video. Of course, no one else, not every single person in the world is going to watch your video all the way through. If they were, it'd be amazing, it'd be a slay. You know, unfortunately, it's not that like Pookie because we'd all be making videos and being creators, but you know, that's life. It's hard. It's a hard field and it's a hard run to get into. Not even gonna sugarcoat it, but I'll talk about that in a second. We are almost at the end of this video. I've been filming for literally over an hour and a half, so I'm curious to see how long this video will be. So now you've edited your video, it's amazing. It is the creme de la creme. It is a chef's kiss. It is literally Vincent van Gogh painted the Mona Lisa, or someone else, whoever painted it. You get what I'm saying, okay? What I like to do personally is have my videos on private, so when I can go through later on and work out a title. During this time as well, once I've edited my video, I do tend to take screenshots throughout the video, which are pieces that are interesting, and I will have that in the thumbnail, but sometimes you forget, and that is okay. What I then do is I do go on like Pinterest or anything like Instagram or anywhere, or you can even use like stock image photos. Use those pictures to show kind of what is in your video. Don't do this all the time because it defeats the purpose, but it's a great way in case you do forget. It's like an emergency of an emergency. I do have a video on me making thumbnails. I will pop it up here. However, I can make an updated version because I feel like my thumbnails have changed a lot. If you want real good eye-catching thumbnails, look at the girlies in your niche. Or if you want something that's like kind of wow, for me, I won't watch a tech video unless it's like Justina. I'm gonna be so real with you. Look at their thumbnails. They're so crisp. They're a chef's kiss. And your description of your YouTube video is really going to use a lot of SEO. It's gonna need a lot of SEO, should I say. Now, this is where TubeBuddy and vidIQ come in. This is gonna be the most boring blah 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 thing for the next 30 seconds, so stay with me. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which is basically how the algorithm knows where to push your video and content to certain creators and or individuals that are watching them. So you want your video to have as many keywords. For example, day in my life is a keyword, and then have the same title in your description and talk about your video, as that will help feed the algorithm kind of, oh, like this person's going on shopping, Sarah from down the road loves shopping videos, I'm gonna recommend that video. Does that make sense? Like, that's how it kind of works. It's also your CTR, which is your click-through rate, which also help with that as well. Everything works in one. I can go into in depth a little bit more at a later date if you want. Again, I pay for TubeBuddy personally. You can download the free version and the free version of vidIQ as well. They are out there. I promise there are so many videos. I can create one if you want one, so I'm here to help. This is a democracy, unlike a certain country. Sorry, that was so out of pocket, but I promise I will make a video on it if you want it. And then this is kind of the other tips and tricks and things that I picked up along the way. So for example, social media as a hobby slash job, lack of a better word, for the last 5 years. Now, it has been the most eye-opening, blessed experience. I've been to so many events and so many cool opportunities have come from me being a creator. And the last kind of year and a half, I have really taken a step back because of the job that I'm in. I was really focusing on progressing in there. Do you feel like that may have changed and I miss having the creator side in me back? So I'm working on pushing out more content again and getting back in my Zoom in terms of things like that as well. I also believe that for me personally, I've evolved over the last 5 years. Like, I remember my videos used to be really quiet. I've been to so many cool events and I've had so many cool things come in PR. I've worked with brands like Ralph Lauren, I've worked with Lush, I've worked with Dove on a Shoe, The Ordinary. I'm looking around my room. Pinterest, obviously. I was very, very grateful. I was very, very lucky enough to be a part of the Creator Fund in 2022 and 2023. I'm sure I videoed it, I'm sure. I will have that video up here. I'll obviously insert clip. But I genuinely, after watching this video, one of my biggest tips as well is just to have fun with it. Like, I genuinely started making videos in lockdown because, fun fact, I used to train professionally as a dancer, and then COVID happened. Woohoo. With that, I miss having a creative outlet and I miss enjoying myself, lack of a better words, and I just wanted that freedom and creativity. But I was like, do you know what? I used to make YouTube videos back in the day, like literally when I was like 12 or 13, and I miss having that outlet for me, so I decided to start doing it, and it has been the most fun journey, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, no matter how much I get stressed from like not posting. My biggest tip as well is when a platform launches new features, please, for the love of God, use them. When YouTube first launched YouTube Shorts, no one was on it, and there is a YouTuber named Bria Jones, and she is the prime example of using a new feature because she managed to grow her channel. I think it was literally from like 500 subscribers to like 100,000 in the span of like 4 months. It was rapid, it was quick. You know, when you sit down to edit, it is all worth it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm genuinely shocked if you made it to the end. If you have, I love you so much for that. Like, you're a real one for that. Subscribe if you want. You don't have to, but if you want to, it'd help me out a lot. I post a brand new video every single Sunday, or if I decide to upload a random video, it will be on a Wednesday, so turn on the post notifications so you know when that's happening. And I will see you next Sunday for a brand new video. Bye.
Echo through the night. The same old songs that I heard the night before. So I started running so I wouldn't be too late.